Welcome to Books and Things. And happy spring day, almost. My guest tonight is a local Connecticut author and member of CAPA, Connecticut Authors and Publishers Association. His name is Shawn P. Flynn. I gotta know what the P is for. He lives in Enfield with his girlfriend and 4 cats. I think he's a cat man and likes them. He's the author of The Kitty, which is this book sitting here. And I tell you, if you want to read a human interest book, this is it. This thing just tugs at your heartstrings because it's very good. The Kitty who rescued me after I rescued him. Please welcome Shawn.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me on your program this evening.
Thanks for coming down for us. I'm glad it's good weather for you.
Absolutely.
So you got to tell us all about The Kitty.
Well, it's a real nice story about me and my cats, focusing on the first cat I rescued, the positive impact he had on me, and how having him in my life helped me through a difficult time. It's a real nice story, as I mentioned. We've been getting lots of great feedback about the story.
Yeah.
You certainly enjoyed it.
I did.
Yeah, that's the kind of feedback we've been getting.
And he's a rescued cat because he decided he liked you.
Absolutely. He was living in the backyard of the house that I currently live in, and I actually met him about 2 months before I moved in when I was walking through the backyard with the realtor. Saw this big, bushy orange cat. He was real friendly, came over and rubbed up against my leg. I said, "Hey, kitty." I thought he was a neighbor's cat, didn't think much of it. I ended up moving into that house 2 months later. I moved in on a Saturday morning, got home from work about 5:30 or 6 o'clock on Monday evening, and he was sitting on the front step like he was waiting for me to get home. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a real nice story how we met and, how our relationship developed and progressed.
What about the, was it the plumber?
The water company guy,
yeah.
That Monday night when I got home from work, I got home, went inside to get a few things done, and the water had been turned off. Apparently, the attorneys hadn't had the water transferred to my name at closing the previous week.
Yeah.
They had all the other utilities transferred to my name, but not the water. So the water company came out on Monday during the day, turned off the water. I had to make an emergency call to the water company to have them come out and turn the water on, and it was going to cost $175 for an emergency service call. So, I reluctantly agreed and said, okay, that's fine. And, I got my checkbook, went out front, sat on the front step. Kitty was still sitting there hanging out. So I was petting him and waiting for the water company guy, who pulled up a short time later, took something out of the back of his truck, turned something in the grass, came over to collect his payment. And I thought, well, $175 for that. You'd be kidding me. And he saw the cat and said, he yelled "Buster," and the cat's head came whipping around like he knew the guy. And he said, "That's my cat. He's been missing for 2 years now." And he asked me if I had adopted him, and I said, "No, I just moved in that weekend." And he asked me if he could have him, and I said, "Well, he's not mine." So he gave me back my check, picked up Kitty, got in his truck, and drove off. And 3 days later, the cat was back sitting on my front step when I got home from work.
It wasn't his cat, it's yours.
Kitty decided he wanted to hang out with me, that's right.
I think that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got a free turn on.
Yeah, Kitty did that for me.
Thank you, Kitty. You're a good cat. I was thrilled with the book because you wrote it very well.
Thank you.
About taking him to the vet and making sure that, I got to ask, you have 4 cats.
Yep.
Yeah, and plus Kitty. You got a big paycheck?
Well,
you got the vet with every one of them.
Yeah, the vet bills can certainly be expensive. So I, at the time when I first rescued Kitty, I was working in corporate America. I've worked in corporate America for over 25 years. Worked for a variety of different companies in and out of the insurance industry. So, I certainly had enough money to take care of my cats.
I didn't mean to know that, but yeah. I'm just thinking, that's a lot of money.
Well, you have to spend money on your pets.
Yeah.
But, it's all worth it.
Yes, we were just talking about that earlier, about what a pet does to a person. And people say, oh, it's just a cat. Well, now they're bringing cats and dogs into convalescent homes, into hospitals, and they know that these kitties or dogs or puppies or whatever help the people.
That's right.
And they know that the person's sick.
That's right.
Yeah, because I've heard of stories where a dog is going to sniff the body, and that's where the cancer is.
I have a friend who runs a group called Fur Love Comfort Cats. And she's got 9 comfort cats that she takes around to nursing homes and places like that. And they come in and they meet with the, the folks, and they can pet the cats. And every time she brings one of her cats into the nursing home, everyone just smiles and gets so excited.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so.
We had a dog over here at Groton Regency, and one of the managers brought a big dog in every Friday, and that dog just roamed through the building.
Yeah, that's great.
Went and see his favorite people, and it does make you feel good.
Sure, absolutely.
I've been in somebody's house, the cat will jump in my lap, and I go, oh, that's nice. You pet it. And we had one where he jumped on the kitchen table and came right up and put his face in mine. And I'm thinking, what's this kitty want?
He wanted to say hi.
But no, animals are so precious. And so you have one, and then you got another one.
Yeah, I ended up rescuing another one, absolutely. Rescuing Kitty helped me to develop a real soft spot in my heart for abandoned and stray cats.
Yeah.
And met this other cat. I met him at an apartment complex. I had seen him several times over the course of a few weeks. And one of the times I saw him standing in front of an apartment door crying like he was asking to be let in.
Yeah.
And, it just broke my heart. I felt so sad. And I said, hey, buddy, you can come home and live with me and Kitty.
Yeah.
So, I scooped him up, and he was the friendliest cat I ever met, and that's Squeakers.
Squeakers, yes,
Squeakers.
That's right. And for a guy who didn't care about cats,
Yeah.
you slept with him.
Absolutely. Well, it's not that I didn't care about cats. I just didn't have a lot of experience with them.
Yeah.
I didn't have an opinion one way or another.
That was me. Yeah. I was the same way. I love dogs. I always had a dog since I was a kid. Never had cats. But then you find out the cat's fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they're really neat.
Yes, they are.
So you got Squeakers.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
In that same year, a feral cat crawled into my garage and had 3 kittens.
Oh, that's right.
And the surviving kitten, I named her Samantha, but I used to call her Girly, or my little girl, and then little girl morphed into Girly, and then Girly morphed into Girleen. And that's what she thinks her name is, Girleen. So the vet knows her as Samantha, but I call her Girleen. That's what she thinks her name is.
Now, is this the mother or the kitten that you kept?
This is the kitten. The kitten. Yeah, I've known her since she was a day old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a real special relationship with all my cats, but the relationship I have with her is extra special because of the fact I've known her since she was a day old. So, but I have a love affair with all my cats. So, I'm a cat person now.
So what made you write the book?
I knew I had a real good story. I've had this story in my head for years about the love affair I have with my cats, and I just decided to take some time off and put my story into a book and share it with others. When I originally put my thoughts on paper, I didn't do it to publish a book. I did it because I wanted to document my thoughts and my experiences and my feelings, and just to have a permanent record of that. Mm-hmm. I shared the story with some of my close friends and family members who were really touched by the story. And they actually encouraged me to see about making it into a book.
That's good. And it's doing well. You got a couple of little things on the front here. What are those?
I won some awards. I won a Reader's Favorite Book Award for it. And I was a finalist in both the Best Book Awards and the International Book Awards competitions.
Wow.
And just last week, I was endorsed by a New York Times best-selling author who writes cat books as well.
Oh, really?
Her name is Gwen Cooper. She wrote the book Homer's Odyssey, which was debuted at the 14th spot on the New York Times bestseller list when it was first published in 2009.
Wow.
She's widely considered one of the preeminent cat book writers in the world.
Well, that's cool.
She gave me a real good endorsement, and I'm
Yeah.
real pleased with it.
That's neat. Now I hope you get to be seen by a lot of people on TV.
That would be a good thing.
We know somebody from England that wants to see you.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm going to say, I forgot her name. Carrie?
Carrie, that's my girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah. Hello, England. You can watch us. And I never know who's watching the TV show because we have no way to tell.
Yep.
And that's too bad because although on YouTube it does give you a number of people that watched it.
Yes.
And so it's getting popular. So you met Carrie after you got divorced,
Yes.
but you almost got back into that too.
Well, you know, I had somewhat of an on and off relationship with my
Yeah.
ex-wife.
Well, you know what they say about old shoes. They fit good.
Yeah, I guess.
And I should talk. I've been married 3 times. But anyway, it's an excellent book, hard to put down because you've written something that really touches people's hearts. If you have any heart for animals, this is a great book to read.
Well, certainly, it's geared toward cat people. I knew cat people would
Yeah.
identify with the story. But, I mean, really, it's a good read for pet people in general. And
Yeah. It's a personal book. It's something that you've written from your heart, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you probably had a couple of bad moments while you were writing it because you're starting to think about the kitty, and it's tough.
Well, yeah, it's there's certainly some funny parts
Yeah.
in the book, some
Yeah.
sad parts. I've gotten comments from people all over the world who have read my book that said it made them laugh, it made them smile, it made them feel sorry for me, and it made them feel joy for me, and it made them cry.
Well, I mentioned about my son dying before the show, and people used to come up to me and say, well, the worst thing that's happened to me is I lost a pet. I said, do you like the pet? Oh, I love my pet. And I said, that's all that matters. And the depth of grief is the depth of what you've suffered from. And that's the thing that struck me. This book I started reading this, I was thinking, that took me back into those times when I was heavy into grieving over my son, and the woman had said, I only lost a cat or a dog or whatever it was. But it's not only. I lost a friend.
Sure, pets are members of your family.
Yes.
I mean, to some people, pets are, more important than people.
Absolutely. And they're friendlier too.
Well, cats and dogs, your pets love you unconditionally.
And you can call them anything you want and they don't care.
As long as you feed them and take care of them.
That's it. So where can we buy this book?
Well, it's available certainly all over the world from Amazon. It's available from a number of the big booksellers worldwide. In the U.S., certainly people can get it from BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com. Locally in Connecticut, many of the Barnes & Nobles actually have it in stock. Yeah. And some of the Barnes & Nobles in surrounding states have it in stock as well. It's also up in north central Connecticut near where I live. It's available in most of the independent bookstores, such as the Book Club Bookstore and more in South Windsor. It's available from some of the independent bookstores up in western Massachusetts, such as Blue Umbrella Books in Westfield. And it's available at a couple of bookstores in Northampton as well.
You've got it everywhere.
Well, yeah, the easiest place would probably be like, Amazon.com.
Yeah.
So, it's available, lots of different places. It's available as a Kindle download as well if people use the Kindle. People can get it as a Nook download if they use the Nook from Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. Our big bookstore is Bank Square Books
Yeah.
in Mystic.
I have an event coming up there, the
Yeah.
end of April. I actually have it.
Probably
It
saw
is-
that here someplace.
I'm sorry, the end of May. Sunday, May 27th at 1 p.m. Bank Square Books in Mystic, Connecticut.
Got it. I'll have to try to be there.
Well, that'd be great.
Annie's a very fine lady. The lady that owns it. And they have another store in Rhode Island.
That's what I understand.
Yeah, Savoy Books.
Yep.
And she's done very well with those bookstores. She is a book person, and we need that.
Sure.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I've done a lot of the independent bookstores. I don't want to say all of them. I've done a lot of the independent bookstores in Connecticut. I did R.J. Julia last summer.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly a big bookstore, real popular bookstore.
Yeah.
I done most of the independent bookstores up in north central Connecticut. As I mentioned earlier, I've done a bunch of the Barnes & Noble bookstores. I'm actually going back this coming Saturday, March 31st at 1 p.m. I'll be at the Barnes & Noble in Stamford and down in Fairfield
Now,
County.
are you pushing this yourself, going out to these different places, or?
Well, Stamford, actually, I did Barnes & Noble in Stamford last fall. I think the first time I was there was in September, October. And we sold so many books in a 2 or 3 hour period that they were just in awe. And they invited
Wow.
us back, like a month and a half or 7 or 8 weeks after that. So I go down there about once every 6 or 8 weeks. I go down to Stamford. And this will be my fourth visit to the Barnes & Noble in Stamford.
We should mention the type of cat that it was.
Kitty's a Maine Coon.
They're big.
Yeah, big cat, 18 pounds.
So it's Screechers?
Squeakers.
Wasn't he one too?
No, that was Gypsy.
Oh, Gypsy.
Gypsy's a Maine
Gypsy,
Coon.
that's right.
Yeah, Squeakers, he's a lot smaller, about 10 pounds.
And he used to fight with Kitty.
Well-
Do I have the right ones here?
Yeah, when I first brought Squeakers home, Kitty was the only cat. And, of course, I had to get Squeakers, so he lived in the basement for about 2 weeks until I could get him his shots, take him to the vet, make sure he didn't have any, feline diseases, stuff like that. And once he got a clean bill of health and I was able to expose Kitty to Squeakers, I brought him upstairs to live with Kitty and I. And Kitty was used to being the only cat, and he tormented Squeakers for several weeks. Unfortunately, it stopped. They ended up becoming real good buddies.
Well, yeah, because kitties do things with each other, to each other. And that's why I like Facebook, because they have some great ones. There was a cat on there that was punching a tiger. Did you see that one?
I see all those videos. They make me laugh hard.
Oh, they're so funny. And he was saying bang, 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 and then threw him across. Cats, any animals are so much fun, and it's so interesting. And so how long did you actually have Kitty?
I knew Kitty for, I think, about 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. I rescued him in 2006 when I moved to the house that I currently live in.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how old he was when I first met him. I can only guess, but he lived till he was probably about 16.
That's good. That's good. And especially under the circumstances to be able to have him that long. And the animals come and visit you after they're gone too, Later on, when I get these pictures developed, I always have, or a lot of times I'll have orbs show up on the curtains. And it's usually some spirit that's visiting. And I'll see if there's an orb over you. Then maybe Kitty's watching. Because I know I get a lot of my son comes and visits. That's what we say. You have to believe it. I mean, there's no other stories around to tell you that. But that's what I look for is the spirits that are visiting in here, and it doesn't show up on any cameras, only on my DSL, my regular photograph camera,
Yeah.
and that's weird because you can't see them. Television doesn't pick them up. But anyway, I'll let you know about that because that'd be cute. That'd be cute to know that he's sitting here watching you, saying, "What are you talking about, mate?" Now, how long have you been a member of Kappa?
I joined Kappa last August.
Okay. Yeah.
And I joined Kappa, well, for a number of reasons, but my main reason back when I joined, my primary reason was that I wanted to participate in the Big E book selling.
Absolutely.
So joined Kappa. Big E was great, but that was, a 3-hour event during the Big E on a Saturday. And, but I've still participated in Kappa activities since that. Met a number of really cool people. I actually spoke at the Southeast Kappa meeting back in, I believe it was January.
Southwest.
I'm sorry, Southwest, you're right.
I'm Southeast.
Yeah, Southwest. It was in Shelton.
Yes.
And I spoke at one of their meetings. And talked about, writing, the craft of writing and how I published my book and, the different kinds of things I've been doing to promote my book. And
Well, I think that's fascinating because we just got a guest speaker last week that talked about marketing. And she's so full of marketing ideas that I got lost about 10 seconds into it. But it's just, we forget, and I'm trying to get some different programs going so that we can get out there and sell more books. And it's not even so much selling the book because we don't make that much money to begin with, but I'd like to get the book in the hands of the people that need it. And there are a lot of people that really could use a book like this. My son Todd. And so we're trying to promote Kappa. That's one of the things we do is promote. And I'm glad you're getting active in it. And let me check my schedule. Maybe I'll have you down to the Southeast.
Okay.
And
I can give the same presentation I gave to Joe's group.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'll check that out and get you because I got Brian Judd coming in July.
Yep.
He's been doing that for 10 years. Every July. That's the only one I got all the time. And we do summer meetings too. So I'll see my summer meetings. Maybe I can get one of those for you. We're gonna do a potluck dinner. Everybody brings some good food and
That's great.
And it's outdoors.
Yeah.
In somebody's backyard or whatever. And we have a good time.
That's great.
So anyway, so now you got Squeakers and who else you got?
After Gerline was born in my garage, I ended up rescuing another cat, a fourth cat, who I named Gypsy. I met him. He had been eating out of a dumpster at an apartment complex. He was real friendly, always trilled when he saw me, always came up and rubbed up against me. He was clearly had been someone's pet that was abandoned at some point. I mean, he was neutered, so obviously if the cat was neutered, he was someone's pet.
Yeah.
And he was either abandoned or stray. I suspect he was abandoned, though, because he was actually microchipped. When I took him to the vet, the first time I took him to the vet, they discovered he had a microchip. And they contacted the microchip company, who subsequently contacted the other person, who got back to me, and it sounded like they didn't get back to me, but the microchip company got back to the vet, who got back to me, and it sounded like they weren't really interested in getting Gypsy back. So
that's too bad. People love it. Right? There was a thing in the paper the other day. Don't get bunnies for Easter.
That's right.
Because you're gonna throw them out in the backyard. And
that's right. Absolutely terrible. Yeah.
So we got a couple of minutes left. If you got something that you'd like to that we missed.
Well, let me see. Let's go to my notes here. I talked about the recent endorsement I got from Gwen Cooper, who's the New York Times bestselling author. She said, she described my book as a love letter to rescuers and a warm, witty, wonderful tale that will speak to the hearts of cat lovers everywhere. So that's pretty exciting. It's,
Basic truth.
yeah, coming from one of the top cat book writers in the world.
Yeah.
That's a pretty exciting endorsement. Pet Age magazine, Pet Age 2.0, ran a full-page article on my book in their March-April 2018 edition, which is pretty cool too. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's been very favorably reviewed all over the world, including by Midwest Book Review, Reader's Favorite, Wide Open Pets, Cats and World in the United Kingdom, and just yesterday, one of the top 10 pet blogs in the UK came out with a very favorable review of my book and gave it a 5-paw review.
5-paw.
Since of course they're a pet blog, 5-paw review. But so we're real excited about that. As I mentioned, I've got some events coming up. On Saturday, March 31st at 1 p.m., I'm going to be at the Barnes & Noble in Stamford, Connecticut. Okay. The weekend of April 13th, 14th, and 15th, I'm going to be at Super Pet Expo in Edison, New Jersey. The weekend of April 28th and 29th, I'm going to be at Catsachusetts Cat Club Cat Show in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The weekend of May 5th and 6th, I'm going to be at the Seacoast Cat Club Cat Show in Concord, New Hampshire. Sunday, May 20th, a more local event. I'm going to be at the Colchester Bark for the Park on the Colchester Town Green.
That's put on by the Lions Club, isn't it?
I believe so. Sunday, May 27th at 1 p.m., another local event. I'm going to be at Bank Square Books in Mystic, Connecticut. And the weekend of July 28th and 29th this summer, I'm going to be at Kittydelphia in Philadelphia.
Oh, jeez. You know, I was reading these notes, I was thinking, you've got places here that you're going, I never heard of. I never knew there were that many things about pets, but I'm not, and it's only because I just didn't know. We've got 2 more days until April 1st. Who would have thought so many nor'easters in 1 month? You know, I've been through a lot of these winters, and I've never seen more than one in a winter. But March certainly was a lion, and now it's a lamb, because we're into a little spring weather. Can't really get too thrilled about it because that can change. I want a happy Passover, Easter, and April Fool's Day. And watch out for those tricky little bunnies that are running around on Sunday, and you never know the little brown things that they're dropping off. We're hoping it's candy. But it's April Fool's Day, so. Don't forget the Pawcatuck VFW is having its fish and chips tomorrow night on Good Friday, and that'll be the end of the Lent program, and then they'll be back once a month during the rest of the year. Come on down. We got good meals down there. If you have any questions or any suggestions, email me at santostom@comcast.net. Also, please check my Facebook page, Books and Things with Tom, for updates, because I will post a lot of stuff on there that I can think of or when I think of it. Watch the past shows on YouTube. Go to sec-tv.org and press the little button, and you'll pick your shows to watch, and I've got probably about 100 shows on there, which is kind of nice. I'm the only one that's hit 100 here. By the way, did you know that the state parks are free now? Apparently, you can go to any state park and get in for free. And instead, the state is charging every registered vehicle $5 per year added to the registration. And they also added a $5 per year for clean air. Plus, we're paying emissions at $10 per year. Just saying. I think it's kind of nice that they don't increase our taxes. And just, I don't know how many cars is registered in the state of Connecticut, but I'll tell you what, that's a lot of money. Special thanks to SEC for helping me host this show. And by the way, we operate on donations. If you'd like to donate something, we'd appreciate it. Thank you for watching. You should be reading. Cuddle up with a good book on these cold nights. Be kind. Smile. I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.